Hey Reddit, which double standard irritates you the most? Saw this one firsthand in a store once that made me laugh. Mother. All you do is waste your time playing video games. Double quote. Teenage kid. You're on Facebook as much as I'm playing games. Double quote. Mother. Long pause. That's different. Double quote. Mom and dad stereotype. My husband is an excellent father. But people always ask who is watching the kids when they aren't with me. Their dad. People. Oh, so he's babysitting today? Me. No. He's taking care of his f-king kids. Edit. Thanks for the gold, kind stranger. When my political party does XFKed up thing, it's okay. When yours does it, it's wrong. Edit. Thanks for the gold, kind strangers. As a teacher, there are times I would love to be able to put an arm around a student who is crying. Or have a student come back to my room for extra help if they are struggling. But I'm male. So that can't happen. We are literally told by our administration never to do any of that if we are male. Dancing. I don't like to go dancing because I don't understand what you are supposed to do. Double quote. You just dance. Do whatever feels right. Double quote. Does dance. No. No. Not like that. Double quote. How playing video games a few hours a day is associated with laziness, but watching TV for a few hours a day is considered relaxing. I'm a lady. I can't stand how men aren't allowed to be caregivers. Or like children. Men can't comfort a child. Or be at a park with his own without being accused of a sex crime. Man wants to stay at home with the kids. He's lazy and making the woman do all the work. It's crap. Equality means that men should be allowed to do the same roles as women. And vice versa. When Aphrodite lies around naked in a giant shell, she's a goddess, but when I do it I'm drunk and no longer welcome at the aquarium. You don't talk a lot. You should be more socially active. Double quote. Proceeds to get interrupted and ignored by everyone else. Old people that have this opinion that all young people are rude. Yet in reality are the most rude, selfish and impatient people you will ever meet. I live in the UK. It's amazing how they think they're being perfectly reasonable, but they're actually being completely biased and outright hypocritical without even realizing it. Edit. I know the feeling for those of you who work in retail and have to deal with these types of people on a regular basis. I work on checkout in a store that, quite appropriately, rhymes with paint sprees. And I get the same abuse. I just wanted to say that even though people give you shit, it is absolutely not an easy job to do. So well done for always keeping your cool. It's hard sometimes. I know. Edit 2. I am in no way implying all old people are assholes. But there's definitely a large portion of them who seem to follow this bias where I'm from. My hippie friends who believe modern medicine is evil and that chemicals are dangerous. To the point of never taking paracetamol or even believing things like vaccines are bad. Maybe I use the words friends too broadly, but don't give a FCK about snorting cocaine that they've bought from a guy they barely know, which is very likely 20% cocaine and 80% miscellaneous white powder. The irony is that most of that misc powder is probably paracetamol. Really annoys me when people complain about globalization but won't let go of any of the benefits. People complain viciously about jobs being outsourced to Asia, but will fight to the death for their right to buy a toaster for $4. Edit. Thanks for the gold, kind stranger. Acknowledging the existence of children trying to interact with me. I'm a guy. Example. Was a cashier and this kid with some mental disorder, Downs I think, always loved to talk to me when his parents were going through cash. His dad said he always remembered me. Long story short, got hauled into the office by my boss and I was told my behavior was inappropriate for talking to a kid about food. When if you are 35 plus, regardless of career success, if you don't have a family and children by then, as a man you're typically just labeled as a bachelor still enjoying the single life. When you're a woman it's like you are some depressing spinster who has forsaken their gender by not fulfilling their expected mom duties that are unfortunately ingrained in the woman identity the media has created. FCK that momopia. Edit. It's really fascinating that a lot of people immediately assume that these fictitious people both want kids but lost the game or timed out of their biological clock. The point I'm trying to make is that a child-free life shouldn't be considered a you lost or ran out of time situation at all. Reproducing shouldn't be expected and it shouldn't affect one's self-image. Being a teenager. Hey. You're almost an adult now. You must be responsible for yourself and do things on your own. What the hell? Do exactly what I tell you. Don't try to make decisions by yourself. Edit. I'm overwhelmed by the tons of responses. I'm not able to respond to all of them. But I am most definitely reading every single one. Thanks guys. A double standard imposed on me by my mother-in-law. Conversation happened earlier. Mother-in-law. If I ever catch you cheating on your wife, I'll cut you with a machete. Me. Silent. Neighbor. But. Mother Lily. Your sons are horn dogs and have different children from different mothers. Are you gonna cut them? Too? Mother-in-law. Now. Why would I cut my own sons? PS. I don't cheat on my wife. Work over 12-15 hours day to get your project in by deadline is fine. But don't you dare show up 5 minutes late the next day. Salaried employee. Paid based on a 40-hour week. Trend towards 50-60 hours average. Edit. Should point out that I love the job and feel I get paid a good rate. Just annoyed after getting called out by the sales staff who don't have to pull extended shifts. The other day I got a new iPhone from AT&T. I told the salesperson I didn't want to make any changes to my account. 2 days later I get an email saying congrats on signing up for cell phone insurance for $9.99 a month. Not once did this salesperson utter the words cell phone insurance. If I walk into an AT&T every month and steal $9.99 I would go to jail. When a salesperson steals an extra $9.99 a month from me they call it cross-selling and don't see anything wrong with it. When contrarians claim they are open-minded and yet are completely unwilling listen to sound counter-arguments. I work for a small business, 8 employees. Smokers, 4 of the 8 of us, are allowed smoke breaks whenever they feel like it. We aren't given regular coffee breaks or lunch, during which they aren't required to punch out or put anything other than, and I quote management here, a reasonable time limit on. I don't smoke. But I do like a bit of fresh air every now and then, so I go outside for 3-5 minutes and check my email or read the news on my phone. This is completely unacceptable to my boss. Because, and let me quote her directly again, phones are an addiction that waste company time. I asked her why smokers aren't held to this standard and I was told smokers need to smoke. You don't need to read the news. You can't be racist towards white people. And why would anyone want to be straight? They should kill themselves. Double quote. Yeah. No. My gay black ass isn't going to hate anyone for how they were born. Because I know how that feels and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. Edit. Thank you for gold. Kind Gilda. OMG that nerd is way too into that video game. Now excuse me but I need to go spend a shitty ton of time and money on Clash of Clans. Men don't cry. Every single instance that says men aren't supposed to show emotions. Tears. Anything that could be considered a weakness pisses me off to no end. Bonus irritation points if that's considered a sign of homosexuality. As if that's a weakness. Sadness isn't exclusively feminine. Bottling up emotions is one of the most toxic things I've ever done. And I'm probably still doing it unconsciously due to my upbringing. I'm certain that most men are. And that's fucked. Edit. Hot dang. The response to this was a surprise. Thanks y'all. Loving reading all of your stories. Also hot dang. Reddit gold. Get crying y'all. Edit 2. Now with a less speechy speech. Female friend shares a post on Facebook with the title, "Hot male French farmers pose topless for calendar because why not?" The comments and amount of likes the post received baffled me. If I was to share a post of a load of female models because why not, I would be ridiculed or called perverted. And I know that 10-20 of my male friends wouldn't be posting comments like January though. Double quote. Stay at home mom. Looking after the kids is the real job. Stay at home dad, especially if you're financially struggling. She's been at work all day and you've just been sitting there with the kids. Get off your ass. Double quote. Probably my own. That's to say, noticing the hypocrisy in my beliefs and actions. If I can't call bullshit on myself, then I don't have much of a right to call it in others. Hopefully. I'm arcing toward improvement, but I have a lot of work to do. This is a double standard that benefited me. I was a single father that raised my kids to adulthood. They are all in their mid-20s now. People treated me like I was a hero and offered me help unsolicited. Single mothers are usually treated like they did something wrong to be in the position they are in. I can do what offends you because it's freedom. You can't do what offends me because it's not politically correct. Double quote. BuzzFeed telling men to stop telling women what to wear, but also telling men to stop wearing cargo shorts. I think everyone should wear whatever the FCK they want. Most people give the older generations grief about using computers. In my experiences, I've seen plenty of millennials who can use their phone but don't understand how to use basic office software. Your coworkers are absolutely free to joke about how they're going to drink a glass of wine or a whole bottle by myself hahaha when they finally get home from work. If I mention I take a couple hits of weed from a vaporizer before going to bed, they'll think I'm an addict that can't make it through life without a crutch. The parental double standard. Moms are parents. Dads are babysitters. My so is just as capable and prepared as I was am to parent our kid, and when he is home with her caring for her, he is parenting her. People making the comment "oh dad's babysitting today" aren't funny, and I will always correct them. No apostrophes allowed. All fixed, you blue chip 9. But I can't guarantee I will stop making typos. Close bracket. Priests have been known to put on their collars when pulled over for speeding, only to have the officer let them go with a warning instead of the ticket others would normally receive, especially if the cop is Catholic. For me, it was a work colleague that is fanatical about football, soccer. He would watch every game of football on TV. He could not understand that his kids enjoy watching gamers play on Twitch, as his kids are only watching others play and they should play themselves. Gee, how is there, Einstein? What are you doing? One that just happened to me on street. Pat's Day. Women just thinking it's alright to touch guys for any reason. Was playing darts and had on my Michigan State hoodie, which was a size too small. Put on a few pounds recently. Random girl walks up to me and pulls down my undershirt and hoodie and says, "Your underwear is showing." Now I had assumed it was one of my friends I was at the bar with, as we have a super close relationship and they would def do something like that. Then I turn around and it's some complete stranger with her hands on my waistline. I told her to FCK right off and went on about my business. Now if the genders were reversed, any guy would have been punched in the face and had police called. Your bra strap is showing, and then is just start touching your shoulders and shirt before even finishing the sentence. We blatantly accept lies from our corrupt governments. When whistleblowers reveal information on said governments, they are traitors. Late to the party. But my girlfriend and I have one that she finds funny and I just find irritating. Both of us train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's like wrestling with chokeholds and attempted limb snapping for the uninitiated. As with any combat sport, you get roughed up all the time, and anyone who trains a few times a week constantly has bruises. Bruises on the shins, arms, and wrists are especially common. If people see either of our bruises and feel the need to comment, the reaction is very different for me being a guy and her being a girl. To me, "Oh, did you get in a fight? Haha. Double quote. To her. Who's hurting you? There are hotlines you can call. Double quote. He has a concussion. Black eyes. Missing teeth and stab wounds. The fact that she has a bruise on her arm from when he tried to escape indicates that she was defending herself from an obvious domestic abuser. Double quote. Baby boomers. What, you're in your 20s and still live with your parents? Get off your lazy ass and buy a house, you good for nothing bum. Double quote. Me. Continues to drown in crippling student debt. Baby boomers. FCK, no, we won't vote to subsidize education. That would be a waste of my hard-earned tax dollars. Anti-vaxxers refuse to inject harmful chemicals into their or their children's bodies. But they use painkillers, sleeping tablets, eat processed food act. When people think being rude, arrogant or sardonic on the internet for no reason is okay, but then act all outrageous when someone does it to them, eye roll. Human interactions are still human interactions no matter if you are behind a screen or not. Overwatch double standard incoming. I main Mercy and 95% of the time someone points to the healers to blame. Maybe if my team would focus the fairer I could stay alive longer and heal the team. Playing 4 hours of video games and watching 4 hours of some sport on TV is different. Said this before and I'll say it again. As a dude, it would be super awesome to be able to look like a goddamn Egyptian prince or an elf and not have anyone judge you for wearing makeup. I mean, there are others that irritate me more. But like, in a world where the above is possible, the rest likely wouldn't exist. Edit. This blew up more than I was expecting. I might be going down to the GC and seeing a female friend of mine in a few weeks, university willing. So I could get her to do my makeup and walk around the Gold Coast, see what reactions are. We'll post the video somewhere when it happens, and link here. It's totally okay to violently hate cats. But if somebody says that dogs just aren't their favorite, it's blasphemous and they're shunned forever. Women are allowed to wear men's clothes and nobody cares too much. Being a tomboy is normal. Men aren't allowed to wear women's clothes in public. That's too weird for everyone else. That a man's opinion of gender issues is somehow less valid. When my mom complains about me playing video games all the time, but she's always laying on the couch like it's her bed watching TV every single day. Woman gets raped by a man. The man is a criminal. Man gets raped by a woman. The man is a wimp and should consider himself lucky. Granted, there are some big issues with RP cases that happen with women too. Women who get victim blamed, who are not taken seriously. Rapists who get lenient punishments, Brock Turner, etc. But if we're gonna fight against that, then it has to go both ways. Because a lot of men are hurting too. I've personally seen many women laughing at male victims of rape, but then criticize when female victims are taken seriously. That in public it's totally okay if a girl slaps a dude across the face if he is perceived to be insulting her. If a woman starts insulting a man and he does it, then it's physical assault. Assault is assault. Just because the person's gender or physical size may be different doesn't make it okay. Saw this happen in a Walmart I was working at. This dude had an argument with a woman in the parking lot. She followed him inside and full on BTCH slaps him across the face. Security came and they didn't do anything because he was a man and it seems like he deserved it. Drives me nuts. Being skinny. People tell me you should eat more. All the time. I'm so very tempted to say you should eat less. Double quote. One of those is apparently socially acceptable. If you value life so much before it is even born, then value the life of the child after it is born as well. It needs way more help and care and nurturing after it is born. Especially if it was born poor. Christians who quote the Bible to the T to FCK other people over or discriminate. But when it's something that affects their life they say that nothing should be taken too literally. It's one or the other, Mothefka. When people with left political views, which I would identify myself with, are genuine assholes to people they disagree with. When we're supposed to be the people who believe basically that you should just be nice and accept everyone. I see this so much. And it really bothers me. People my age, early 20s, are especially bad and need to understand that being so dismissive and downright mean to people who disagree with them often just pushes them further toward their views. Gender equality not being about equality at all. Rather because women have historically been treated like second-class citizens. We're making concessions in the wrong way. Let's take for example, the physical requirements of being a firefighter or a police officer. For one test, all potential candidates are required to carry a certain amount of dead weight, so you can potentially save somebody's life. Women candidates have lower requirements. How this is even possible is beyond me. I don't care what your gender is. You need to be able to carry a certain weight or people's lives are in danger because you are not able to do your job properly. Let's look at one more example. Teacher daycare provider. If you're a man, you people assume you're a pedophile if you want to work with kids. But women in the same position just care about the kids. There's no way they could be a pedophile.